Right, so
you're a real freaking pain in the butt with what you're doing there, Mr. Pro-Recreational Florida Warrior guy.
A BC couple, John Nuttall and Amanda Carodi, found themselves conspiring to bomb the BC legislature.
they actually filed a lawsuit against the investigators, against the prosecutors, and against the federal and BC governments. But basically, the BC government manufactured this crime. That's what the judge found.
So very nice.
And so because of all that coaxing, because they basically told him, you have to come back with a plan. You have to give us the evidence for this case. That crossed a line. They also were found to have used threats. There was actual, video evidence of John and Amanda fearing for their lives that this undercover officer who was posing as an Al-Qaeda terrorist, that they could become loose ends and therefore be offed and sent to the bottom of the ocean in cement galoshes.
So very nice.
But basically the RCMP did all of the legwork, all the logistics to actually make this happen. And so that is considered manufacturing the crime. That's what the 2016 decision was, a finding of entrapment and an abusive process by the RCMP. And so the religious manipulation, too, was something that really upset the judge. She called it out.
You're a real freaking pain in the butt with what you're doing there, Mr. Pro-Recreational Florida Warrior guy. Talking shit.
Okay. It's cool, man. I'm gonna use this.
Fuck you, Christine! Fuck you, Christine!
Fuck you, Christine! Fuck you, Christine! Fuck you, Christine!
So very nice.
So leave me the fuck alone! Get you very
I want to ride to the ridge where the rest commences. Gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in.
Welcome to the e-chopper garage and marijuana greenhouse. And, my life, I live in bed basically now, about 18 hours a day at least. Disabled already, and then my social justice activism has led me to many assaults upon my person.
Hey, don't put your hands on me.
Is it running?
Don't you get it.
Ever. But then what happened too was, it may not be in my notes there, is about a year and a half ago maybe a bit more than that, I got assaulted by two people. I do activism, and I had a camera on my helmet, and one of the people, two of them came at me from front and back, and the one from back grabbed my helmet in my head trying to stop me from filming, and it basically like face masking, except it was on top of my head, so they had even better leverage, and they just wrenched my head down forward and to the left. And I was standing above my mobility aids, and I think that's been the one.
And my social justice activism has led me to many assaults upon my person.
You think that's what's gonna happen, dude? You think that's what's gonna happen? Hit and run! Hit and run!
Including got a busted neck now.
There's nerve root compression. There's significant nerve root compression. So where the spinal canal is compressed. So you've got spinal stenosis. You've got what we call foraminal encroachment, which means where the windows or the nerve roots come out and go to the shoulders and the arms, etc., are tightly compressed.
Is it running?
Don't you get it.
And so I'm pretty much bedridden from all this stuff, and I'm also fighting or surviving. hopefully 2 terminal cancers. They're my second and third cancers. So I'm bedridden a lot of the time.
I see people driving cars, and I see by the way they drive their cars that they neither love nor are loved, nor do they consider sex. It is all forgotten, like an old movie. I see people in department stores and supermarkets
So
walking down aisles.
I'm bedridden a lot of the time, and it allows me to get out of bed and do chores and dishes, and then maybe get out my mobility aid, my e-chopper prescribed mobility aid. I'll cut right here and give you a little quick view of it.
Wild thing, I think I love you, but I wanna know for sure. Come on, hold me tight. I love you.
And maybe some of my police involvement too, maybe.
You're a real freaking pain in the butt with what you're doing there, Mr. Pro Recreational Florida Warrior guy. Talking shit.
Bruce Dean is a street photographer who says he's often harassed by police. He filed the first complaint against the chief, filed a complaint alleging discreditable conduct. An RCMP chief superintendent agreed.
Chief Jamie Graham committed discreditable conduct.
Yeah. It's a one-way. No, I know it is, yeah. What? I don't understand you. What? I'm not blocking any traffic. I'm filming everything. Yeah. I don't understand what you're saying. Can you decipher for him?
I think I'll just go down fighting like the tallest tree fell by lightning. If I'm going down, I'm going down in flames. I'll be burning those who burn me just the same. I got nothing to lose and I'm finding it quite exciting. If I'm going down, I'll go down fighting. I said it before and I'll say it again. Secrets to happiness is enjoy the pain. Then 7 long years of riches to rise. Can't even remember when the downfall began.
So that's who I am, where I come from, and because of the police involvement, I've had to do a lot of things, stand up to a lot of police officers. I've had a lot of retaliation against me because of my stances, especially after I helped bring down a chief of police here, Chief Jamie the Discreditable Graham. Really corrupt pig. He's many people tried to bring him down for many years, lawyers, different social justice agencies, and he just really evaded them all. But I caught him on something, and I was successful.
With complaints against police, and there is no shortage of them. Victoria Police Department says investigating complaints about its members is putting a heavy burden on the department. VicPD says, in fact, it has more officers investigating police complaints than it does looking into child pornography, child abuse, or financial crime. Victoria's Chief of Police Jamie Graham has been given a written reprimand for failing to properly store a loaded pistol. It is the latest in what has been an embarrassing week for the chief and for VicPD.
A comment made by Victoria's chief of police about Olympic torch protesters has come back to burn him.
They came over on a bus, and there was a cop driving the bus. So, I don't know who these guys are, but they're not terribly well organized.
An investigation done for the Police Complaints Commission has found that Chief Jamie Graham committed discreditable conduct. Chief Jamie Graham committed discreditable conduct.
So that's had me focused a lot on. I get a lot of information sent to me now because of that. And so I spend a lot of my time standing up for the rights of those oppressed by police. So I spend a lot of time advocating for Indigenous rights and definitely the homeless who are harassed so much and they're used as an excuse and picked on.
And a VicPD officer shot the man in crisis. The man died of his injuries on scene.
Shut it.
We're going to be this area off.
Yeah, but it's not yet, so I'm just getting some pictures.
But we're going to right now.
Yeah, but
so
you're not. So I'm just getting a
place.
picture here. Come on, just relax. I'm just getting a picture.
Okay, please don't come back off the side.
I won't. I promise I won't. Yeah, I'm just taking a picture. Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Stop talking. It seems like you're getting agitated.
Well, because she's getting after me and you're getting after me. Of course it can be.
But anyway, my point is get off.
Yeah, yeah, but you may be a camera. I'm not getting off. Well, no, I'm not getting off the road because I'm a bicycle, but within the cones that are here.
Right now, but on the road, go to the sidewalk and keep taking your pictures.
No, a bicycle's allowed to be on the road. And
if you really want to push us, we can take you off the road. I'm just asking you to please go.
Yeah,
we're being kind.
No, but I'm taking pictures and you're not being kind.
Pictures on the sidewalk. It's not a bike. It's not building, and you're not.
No, it's there right now. It's a bicycle, and it looks like a bicycle. It's guided by.
If you really want to go bicycle, which it's not, if you're saying it's building age,
my reflectors, the lights are on there. This thing is so legal. It's been checked out by the VicPD.
All is get off the street. All I want you to do is get off the street.
Yeah, and be off the road before you get. Well, yes, and I'm trying to deal with him, and now I'm trying to deal with you. And not just the homeless, but anybody like even poor. They police poverty.
The house of pain is in effect, y'all. I say the house of pain is in effect. You know the house of pain is in effect, y'all.
It's pretty ridiculous. Makes you guys look pretty stupid having people like this so violent in our building and they just keep getting to do it, you know. Building's full of people with mental disabilities. I'm one of the few here who can stand up for themselves. And to let other people here, the vulnerable people, have to put up with these drunks all the time, it's ridiculous.
We have nothing to do that. You know that, right?
Oh, for sure you do. He's a drunk driver and he's a reporter. I saw him driving out here drunk twice today, drove through the stop sign, got it on video. You have nothing to do with a drunk driver?
Well, I was at home this morning and all day.
But no, I'm not talking about you personally. Don't be a dumbass now.
Bye, Corey. Don't come back. Oh, bite me.
I want to get tricked.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, move along.
Don't be pushing me. I just got pushed already.
Do your antagonize. This is what caused the fight.
No, that's not what it caused the fight. He caused the fight. I didn't do it. Don't put your hands on me again. And so I spend a lot of my time standing up for the rights of those oppressed by police. So I spend a lot of time advocating for Indigenous rights and definitely the homeless who are harassed so much and they're used as an excuse and picked on. And not just the homeless, but anybody like even poor. They police poverty, drug users and whatnot. And so that brings me to what I'm going to talk about today.
A BC couple, John Nuttall and Amanda Carody, found themselves conspiring to bomb the BC legislature.
The BC government manufactured this crime. That's what the judge found. That's what the 2016 decision was, a finding of entrapment and an abusive process by the RCMP.
And this is my first time doing this. This is an experimental thing for me.
Okay. It's cool, man. I'm going to use this.
And so that brings me to what I'm going to talk about today.
A BC couple, John Nuttall and Amanda Carody, found themselves conspiring to bomb the BC legislature.
A finding of entrapment and an abusive process by the RCMP. The BC government manufactured this crime.
But I got a few features that I'm going to be working on like this, including I'm going to be covering the story of who killed MIKEY.
Fuck the police! Fuck the police! Fuck the police! Fuck the police!
This guy's the sweater guy. Want these?
Hey, sweater guy.
Sweater guy? How are you?
I'm Slap the Goose guy.
Slap the Goose guy?
Did I get Bruce?
Totally.
I've never.
Much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times I'm sure you knew when
Definitely got to come back. You can't hold it better with a small bike.
This bike?
Yeah. The car.
And I'll get into that more in that video, but he's a very good guy, street community guy who one day was shot in the back, and I was with him just hours before that, and there was a police officer there arguing with him, and he lost the argument to MIKEY, because MIKEY doesn't argue for wrong. He was a just dude.
This doesn't involve you. Like I said, man, listen.
So, and that officer stepped back and put his hand on his gun.
Well, you gave him bad advice, right?
Butthurt because he lost the argument, and then was hauled away by his partner. And then hours later, MIKEY's dead.
yes, there were times I'm sure you knew when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way.
So, rest in peace, MIKEY, but that's one story I'm going to be covering like this too. I'm going to go into more depth on the Robert Chikansky killing by the RCMP, and I'm going to go into a fellow who goes by Not So Silent, and who has kicked the RCMP's ass. And that brings us to this case here.
The BC government manufactured this crime of entrapment and an abusive process by the RCMP.
Because my buddy kicked the ass of the RCMP officer who was very likely largely involved in or came up with the corrupt plan to, and it was a totally racist, totally Islamophobic plan. They wanted to go off the tropes of the stereotypes of Islam and being terrorists and bombing. And so they got this couple, and they were some possibly radical social justice activists, so maybe that's why they went after them. But
They just really just, you're going to find out right away here. They just really took advantage of these poor couple. This video here, though, is just a quick sort of video. I just wanted to get the information out there, and especially because the couple now is suing a whole whack of the people involved in this whole conspiracy. And so I'm going to have the video I'm working on them, I'm going to have done hopefully by the time I can have all the results and the analysis of their lawsuit that they're going, and they should win, because it's just really egregious what happened to this poor couple. So, and so this is the story of the story of Amanda Carody and John Nuttall, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And they are the couple who were framed by the RCMP, and this guy that my friend and I helped take down, now he's no longer RCMP officer. He's forced out in the cold, out east and away from his retirement dreams of Vancouver Island and Victoria. And this guy came up with this plan to frame this poor couple, John and Amanda, with a terrorism plot, and have them in the BC legislature. So you probably heard about that, and you probably heard about this couple were found guilty, but you probably don't know, and the stories are out there about the truth of it, but the news to sort of correct the false info that comes out there never has the same impact as the sensationalism of the story of terrorism, the bomb plot and whatnot. And so I'm going to give you just a little couple clips from some news source here, so you can hear and listen to what sort of they went through. So I got something saved here. I think this is the one we're going to start with here. So here we go.
Welcome back to This is Van Color. My name is Mo Amir. Our featured guest tonight is the author of the blockbuster book, Don't Call It a Cult, a definitive and evocative look at Nexium, the infamous multi-level marketing company that was actually an American cult with ties to Vancouver. She is the producer of the CBC podcast Pressure Cooker, which explores how a BC couple, John Nuttall and Amanda Carody, found themselves conspiring to bomb the BC legislature over Canada Day in 2013, but ultimately, even though they were found guilty by jury, the charges against them were stayed by the courts. One of my favorite investigative journalists in BC, she is Sarah Berman. Sarah, welcome back to the show.
Oh my goodness. Hello. Thank you. It's
So nice
good
to
to be
see you.
here. It's good to be here.
So let's get right into it. John and Amanda, this couple from BC, they conspired to bomb the BC legislature. They actually planted the bombs. A jury found them guilty, but a few years later, a judge overturned that decision. This all happened years ago. Why are we still talking about John and Amanda?
Right, so it's been almost a decade, but just a couple weeks ago, they actually filed a lawsuit against the investigators, against the prosecutors, and against the federal and BC governments. And they are alleging that they suffered a lot of harm because of this wrongful persecution. So they spent 3 years in jail.
Wrongful prosecution.
Obviously, there was a lot of emotional distress, both during the investigation and afterwards. And the stigma of this case has followed them for the rest of their lives. They don't even actually use the names John and Amanda anymore, in part because of this cloud of stigma around them.
The world
so that
thinks they're
lawsuit just got
terrorists.
filed. It just got
Because of the
served to
RCMP.
the defendants, and we'll see how that goes over the next couple years.
So there are going to be a lot of people who are watching this and go, they explicitly expressed the intention to carry out this act of terrorism. They planted the pressure cooker bombs themselves at the BC legislature. A jury found them guilty. So why are they not being found criminally responsible? How do they even have a case for a lawsuit against the RCMP and the government?
So you heard them right there. They were wrongfully prosecuted, and so this is a totally corrupt plan, totally manufactured, and they're going to fuck over these couple here. just because of their political position, just because of their dissent to the government opinion and actions. This is a democracy. So let's hear what do they say here again?
It's a great question, and I think that's what makes this story so fascinating, is because of the contradiction of it. But basically, the BC government manufactured this crime. That's what the judge found. And even though you see it on camera, them placing the bombs in the bushes, what you don't see is everything behind the cameras that made that happen. So you had the RCMP buying them groceries, putting them up in hotels, driving them everywhere they needed to be, and doing a lot of the direction. I mean, John Nuttall was a very disorganized thinker. He had lots of ideas, including, let's hijack a nuclear submarine, or, let's try to fire rockets, across the border to the U.S., or let's hack some Israeli computers. So he was, full of ideas.
See, the thing you remember here, though, is that those ideas were elicited out of them. He wasn't posting those ideas online and looking for help and whatever. The RCMP came to him, and the RCMP came to him, and they were pressuring him and Amanda to come up with ideas of what they could do. So those ideas that sound dumb is because they thought they were connected to Al-Qaeda or somebody. So they thought they had the resources and the money. So these ideas aren't so nutty when you think that you're actually connected with some terrorist group or whatever, and you've been coerced into, and you've been pressured into, and you've been threatened to cooperate and do this stuff. These are the ideas of a guy who's under pressure, or a couple that's under pressure from the RCMP what are we going to do? So somehow they ended up with the pressure cooker ideas, pressure cooker bombs that didn't work or weren't bombs. And the RCMP knew it. Their partners in the crime knew that the bombs weren't deadly. So it was more like a prank on somebody in a group that you had been coercing and fucking with and bribing and threatening to do this work. It was like a prank. The RCMP did. Let's hear what they have to say here to reinforce that, because she talks about this right now.
So he was, full of ideas, and basically the undercover operators, and there was a cast of them, all pushed him towards something that was feasible, realistic, that they could control. And so because of all that coaxing, because they basically told him, you have to come back with a plan. You have to give us the evidence for this case. That crossed a line. They also were found to have used threats. There was actual, video evidence of John and Amanda fearing for their lives, that this undercover officer who was posing as an Al-Qaeda terrorist, that they could become loose ends and therefore be offed and sent to the bottom of the ocean in cement galoshes.
So is the idea that if the RCMP was not involved, John and Amanda would have never carried out this plot? They would have never planted those bombs?
Exactly. And part of the finding was just that they weren't capable of it, that they were actually...
Yeah. Who is capable of it? Like, who is capable of doing that? It's unless you get the RCMP in there and pressuring you, making you think you're now somehow got yourself involved with Al-Qaeda and they're threatening to kill you maybe, or like what do they think? Probably anybody would do this if they somehow got pressured into it by the RCMP. And they said a whole cast of characters, the entire RCMP were behind this plan. And what do you think you would do? And just go to the issue of the things that the RCMP are capable of doing. In my case, in my buddy's case, it's all on video. I'll show you a clip of it here right now, where this is just simply over photography, using our cameras in public. And they arrest my friend because he wouldn't abide by what they were doing and wouldn't abide by their threats. And so they arrested him, seized his camera gear, kept it for years, fought him, used the entire RCMP resources against him, And I know they probably followed him because they were caught following me, because I was there too, and I was threatened too with this, and it's all on the video here. You know, have a look at this.
Hey. What's going? All right. Are you the guy we're looking for?
I was filming that man. Sure. You want me to hold his other stuff you got there? Or? Okay. Okay. I don't think that's his bicycle. Yeah. 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 Oh, you don't need me to take it now? Okay.
Please don't film our building. Okay, it's a security issue, and I'll have to fill out a security report. The same thing will happen to you. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Filming the street is fine. Filming a government building in lieu of certain events nowadays requires a security event briefing to be put in, and he refused to identify himself. And because of that, it causes me alarm. So that's why he was arrested. Okay.
And
understand that, right?
Well, I don't understand. What I was asking you. Like, what do you mean? What's this? You have to file a security briefing request?
Nice and simple. When somebody videotapes a police building and police vehicles, I have no idea why they're doing it.
Yeah.
It's a security event. It's a security incident. I have to report that.
Yeah.
Okay? You understand that?
Well, I understand what you're saying for sure. Yeah. What's that? I'm not. I'm walking. The only reason I was filming over here is you told me to come over here. Yeah.
You can videotape in front. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah.
This is effectively there's personal vehicles here, civilian employees.
I hear you. I was standing over there, not filming here. You told me to come over here to get the bag, and what the fuck, man? like what the fuck, man?
So basically, John and Amanda were pressured to cooperate with the BC RCMP bomb plot at the BC legislature, which appears to be conceived by the RCMP's terrorism expert, Aaron Kundu Thompson, and that's Thompson with the S-E-N on the end, who was demoted and transferred out east, but is now no longer employed after my friend beat false charges that Aaron filed against him and threatened me with. I just find that hilarious, but that's from our perspective because he threatened us over public photography. But what he did to John and Amanda was just like, it's unforgivable. He was the terrorist. It was his bomb plot. It was his whole idea. They pressured them. They threatened them. And who's gonna resist threats from Al Qaeda? Yeah. Check out what they have to say here further on Mo's show here.
They were actually so incompetent that this would have never happened. They would have never seen their ideas through, which is an interesting finding to come to. But basically, the RCMP did all of the legwork, all the logistics to actually make this happen, and so that is considered manufacturing the crime.
The word I feel like we haven't touched on is the word entrapment. We know that the courts overturned the guilty verdict or basically stayed the charges, but has anyone ruled officially that this was entrapment?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, so that's what the 2016 2015 decision was a finding of entrapment and an abusive process by the RCMP, and that's what made them able to walk free. Although very soon after they were hit with a peace bond, and so they still have some limitations on their movements. They're not allowed to go to the legislature anymore.
Right. So when we talk about John and Amanda getting intertwined in this large plot that was effectively put on by the RCMP, what sort of manipulation tactics are we talking about? Like, how did they get coaxed into doing this? You did already mention ideas of threats, but aside from that, like, what made them do this?
The judge was also looking at inducements. So the money that they put into, it started with John thinking this man was a gift from Allah because he was, buying him new clothes, buying him a hard drive, giving him work, right? He was doing little deliveries for the undercover officer. And so he was doing, in John's mind, everything he could to get John back on his feet and get him sort of the spiritual guidance he needed to find his way in the world. And so that's a lot. And so the religious manipulation, too, was something that really upset the judge. She called it out. And that will also be part of the lawsuit, a charter challenge, because they weren't... Their right to practice the religion freely was allegedly violated.
Right.
So there never was a terrorist attack, and really all it was it what she say there. It was religious manipulation, and they didn't pick a white nationalist to convince them that they had some big, Christian organization behind them to do this terrorist attack. They did it. They chose because they're racist. They chose, and because a lot of our public is racist, so they would buy into it easy. They chose somebody who had a faith of somebody with a brown skin, somebody who wore the different clothing. It was easy. They played off all these tropes. It was just horrendous, and it was racist, and all it did was add to the hate and whatnot that we're already going on right now. It's just ridiculous and disgusting what happened in this case. So, and then another thing too is, just like with the Chikansky case, just like with John and Amanda here, just like with the cases that I've had against the police, and my buddy Not So Silent has had with police, all those cops are still out there. There's a cop who assaulted my friend on camera, on multiple cameras, assaulted him in front of multiple officers, and he was targeted. I filed 2 police complaints on this, having all the evidence, the video evidence, everything. And they had transcripts from the VicPD officers who all lied, and the video proved that they lied when they claimed that would happen. And the Office of the Police Complaints Commission decided to just go along with that story. The other day, I just got hit by an if I keep going RCMP. The other day, I just got hit by a VicPD officer on his motorcycle. He had been targeting me all summer here, or going after me with all these protests that going on, and I got it all on video. And it just kept escalating to the point where he was parked in front of me. He jumped on his bike. Well, he had to climb on it. He's like a little guy, short legs or something, I guess. And so he hit up on this motorcycle. And then he comes up and drives it towards me, even though if I wasn't there, he would have to turn right away because there's bollards there, there's a picnic table, there's planters there. And so there was no place for him to go. He just was threatening me with a weapon, his vehicle. And then he did vehicular assault because he actually drove into me. What was that all about? That's policing work. All those officers standing there, not saying, hey, buddy, back off. And that's fine.
Now, if I took my bike and drove up to him and ran him, do you think that would be fine, or do you think I'd be on the ground face planted? Yeah. So that's insane. So I filed a police complaint, and so I'm also going to be doing this, in addition to the series I told you about before, I'm also going to be doing a series following the process of my police complaint, in addition to the former Victoria Police Board member who resigned last year because of the corruption, and then he just filed a police complaint himself over the corruption. So I'm going to be following his case too.
Yesterday afternoon, Schacter filed a Police Act complaint against the department.
Because we can't trust a department that turns its back on corruption. We can't trust a department that, in fact, files the deceptive and false reports to the Crown and to the judiciary. We can't trust a department that turns its back on corruption.
VicPD's dirty laundry was aired out earlier this week.
The police board should take the responsibility and ask management why all of this happened.
But I want to just let you know, as a police chief of color, the first police chief of color within our 163-year history of the Victoria Police Department, as a police chief and a person of color, the other thing I want to share with you is that we have a number of Indigenous officers within the Victoria Police Department.
So, and here's another example of it here for you to have it check out at, where it's basically shows the RCMP and their abuse of process. Just like when the RCMP stopped me and tried to identify my buddy, Not So Silent, and he wouldn't ID himself, so they came up to me. I was across the street, across a bridge, across a creek from them, and I literally was videotaping a bunch of nature stuff. There was some cool stuff going on anyways, but I had a camera fixed on them just in case my buddy needed help. And so they approached me and tried to force my ID, but they could smell my marijuana. So they used it illegally to try to force my identification, and they did. And so because here's the trick is if I don't cooperate with police with my if there are questions about marijuana, I can lose my federal license. So as soon as the cop asks about the marijuana, I have to comply, and they asked me to prove that I had ID, that I had a license, and so I did so, which revealed my name to them. And then they had no business to record that, because they can't use that to ID me. But not only did they use it to ID me, they put me and my buddy on a wanted poster.
Alright, are you the guy we're looking for?
An RCMP wanted poster, and spread it around to all police agencies, criminalizing us for using a camera in public. Here's a little bit of the clips from that.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Good, thanks.
Good.
Can I help you? Nothing. I'm just out taking pictures and texting and whatnot. Why?
Well, you're filming the police station, right?
No, I'm not filming the police station. It may be far in the background there, but I'm not filming the police station.
So, what's the purpose of your visit today? How come you do this?
Well, I already told you, I was just taking pictures. Why? Like, what is it you want to know? Like, is there a concern? Is there anything going on around here I should be worried about?
There is a concern. We've got 2 people set up in front of our police station with cameras right now. It's not an everyday occurrence, right? So we're just trying to figure out what happened.
Okay, well.
Something we can help you with.
Yeah, no, we're doing fine, but thanks for the offer.
Some ID?
Well, yeah, but what for? Like, is there, what's the
So
concern?
I can identify you, just,
yeah.
like I said, this
Obviously,
is out of the
it kind
ordinary.
of poses as a security risk for us, right, as well. So when we have people filming vehicles coming in and out of the parking lot.
Well, but if that's a concern, like you said, then it should be better security. I'm not doing anything wrong.
It's also a concern to the general public that come here. Sometimes like confidentiality when they report stuff, but if there's people who have cameras, they're not going to be...
Yeah, but there's nobody like here with cameras all the time, and there's nobody here filming or targeting anybody in particular at all.
Now,
Yeah, but that's okay. It's not all the time, and it's nothing. There's nothing, no law being broken, right, or nothing, right? So.
Okay, so do you mind if we take a photo of you right now, just so we have an understanding as to what's going on?
Do whatever you want to do.
Do you have your ID?
Yeah, what's that? No, yeah, I said, but I already answered that question. So.
So if you're able to present that to us, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, I don't see any reason to do it. So.
Okay.
So where are you from?
Well, again, that's just venturing the ID thing. I don't understand what the problem is. I don't understand what the question is for.
I guess we're both on the same page because I don't understand either.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, and that's the way it's going to be, I guess. You know.
How long are you going to be here?
As long as I want to be, I guess, until it gets too hot out or something. I don't know. It's I have no big plans. So. What for?
You're filming right now.
Well, it does smell like fun out here.
It sure does.
So it doesn't matter.
It does. You have a license for it?
Of course I have a license for it.
Can you show it?
Yeah. There's no licenses for it, right?
And it's also illegal to possess it if you don't have a Health Canada license.
We can both
for
smell it. So let's hear your license.
Yeah. Because I've got a medical marijuana license for 15 years. I'm one of the oldest license numbers in Canada. And so, it's because you come out here clearly to scrutinize me for my photography, and now you're using my medical marijuana to identify me and to harass me and breaking no laws. And so you're wrong about that again. And so you're using this against me, is what you're using it. That's just like really low, man. That's just really low. And this is why I'm filming you.
Okay.
Because of crap like this. So you can just call Health Canada is what you're required to do here. I'm clearly breaking no laws. I'm a disabled guy.
You don't know how to verify that, right?
I just told you, and it says right on the card here. And I've been legal for 15 years. You guys had, and you guys had 15 years to know that all you do is you call Health Canada to confirm if I'm legit or not.
But we don't know your name, right?
Yeah. But now you do because you pressured me because of this. You pressured me because of my photography. You pressured me, and that's why. So you all good. I can get his ID now. And that's just really low. You're using my disability against me to try to force me to give my identification. When I didn't want to and I wasn't required to give my identification. So the only reason it's clear, the only reason you're asking me here is because you're pissed off because you want to get information off me that you don't have the right for. And so you're harassing me, and you're harassing me over my medical marijuana. And so you use that to ID me, and then you want to question me more. You're continuing the harassment. Like, no mercy, no empathy, just stone cold faces, you know. It's nothing, eh?
We're just out here to have a conversation with you,
Well,
right?
no, it's not. You're not. It's called conversation, but you're not. You've been harassing me, questioning me, and pressuring me, asking the same questions over and over again. That is the definition of harassment. I tell you the answers. You should be satisfied with the answer. I don't have to give you ID. You should be satisfied with that.
Okay.
So this wasn't a cordial visit. It was all...
Are you satisfied?
Yeah, it was all investigatory, accusatory.
You're a real freaking pain in the butt with what you're doing there, Mr. Pro Recreational Florida Warrior guy.
Right now we're just downtown and we're at the Olympic torch relay thing. We're just going to go catch up to it.
Ma'am, your joint is running. Your joint is running. Hey, your joint is running. Your joint's running. Hooray for the Olympic athletes. Hooray! Hooray! Are you gonna wipe this out?
Oh no, you can't be here right now, sir.
Oh, just tell me so. Don't grab me there, buddy.
Go off to the side here.
Okay, well tell me nicely and politely, okay?
Park says there were anti-Olympic demonstrations in most communities along the way, with some of the biggest protest crowds in Vancouver.
And then there's a few other cases I'm going to be covering too, as far as deaths and shootings of people on the top of MIKEY, who we don't know who shot him yet, but it sure looks like police involvement, possibly some organized crime like Hell's Angels involvement, but I think only in the aspect of possibly of that there being a VicPD officer who is also a Hell's Angels member. So we'll see what's going on. I mean, a lot of that's speculation, but it's not without reason. So, and I'll be showing you all that information. So, looking forward to this stuff. And I'll have all the links to everything below, and including not just the videos that I've talked about my stuff, but also including the not so silent series about the Crown Prosecutor's office. There's so much corruption in there and cover up. They just basically rule the roost. They think they're judge and jury, and so he's got some excellent series to check out. So check out Not So Silent, and stay tuned for some more really good stuff that's going to be coming up here. And who knows, without even wanting to or trying, because I'd rather just be out there riding my chopper. Without even wanting to or trying, because I'd rather just be out there riding my chopper and just hanging out, supporting the street community in all ways I can. But I might be helping bring down another chief of police. They got to do some better hiring practices and have better reins put in control of the police chief and the police department. Because they got to remember that not only do they work for the city, they work for all of us, and they definitely work for me. They know that.
Well, it's a fascinating case, made even more fascinating by all these different levels, and I love what you're doing at Pressure Cooker to present this case to the public. It's really great. So thank you so much tonight. Folks, she is one of my favorites. She is investigative journalist Sarah Berman. Make sure you find the CBC podcast, Pressure Cooker, wherever you listen to your podcasts. I promise it's a heck of a listen. I'm Mo Amir. Up next.
They told her to take care of me. They drug me back to Tennessee. And it's 2 long years of waiting around to die. Oh, but now I'm out of prison. I got me a friend at last. He don't drink or steal or cheat or lie. Well, his name's Codeine. He's the nicest thing I've seen. And together we're gonna wait around.
Sir, are you putting your hands on me? Are you?
But thanks for the help.
No, I'm telling you, I don't want you doing this. You can go that way.
Sir, are you putting your hands on me?
What's happening today?
Well, I need to rest, get my heart rate back down. I'm really sick, man. I'm really ill, man.
Everything is calm.
I'll need an ambulance right now, thank you. I'll need an ambulance. Video we're going to review with them. You're taking their word for it now, but you're not taking my word in the assault.
This property,
yeah.
so
But you didn't ask for a video from them to join in this action of trespassing me from the property.
I can grab video.
No, but you didn't ask them for a video.
You're here right
You
now.
just took their word for it.
You're here
We're going in circles here. You didn't review their video. See, your logic has to apply to me too. So if you're not going to need the video off of them to trespass me, you don't need my video. It's going to be additional evidence to charge him with assaulting me. And
Let's go in the back of the ambulance. I'll check you out.
But I'm not allowed in the property. That's why I came out there. You're fucking yelling at me to get out the property, and I said,
"You're with me. Let's go to the ambulance."
Can I go back on the property, pigs? Yes. But tightness in my chest, like the heart's going a mile a minute. It feels like I don't know.
You told me that you've got cancer.
Oh yeah, my third one, and it's terminal.
What kind of cancer is it?
It's lymph nodes.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's a spready fucker.